komme nur ganz kurz hoch, um Ihnen die nächste Speakerin vorzustellen. The next speaker is our first English-speaking speaker. Gabriela Manuli is an investigative journalist, and she is the deputy director of the Global Investigative Journalism Network. She has reported extensively herself in her native Argentina. I'm very happy that there's an Argentinian in the room. She's bilingual in English and Spanish. She lives in Europe for quite a while already. And her special project within the investigative journalism community is to really champion a diversity of voices. And this is also something that is at the heart of our endeavor with Publix, is to really also envision a more diverse future of journalism. I think there's a tremendous opportunity in that. And Gabriela will tell you a little bit about how they try to champion female voices. A warm round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. Germany has a place in my heart. I've been coming several times, and we organized a Global Investigative Journalism Conference in 2019 with our friends for Network Research and Interlink Academy and the Global Investigative Journalism Network. So I keep coming and coming and coming. So this is really good to be here and to see this initiative and all these organizations under the same roof. So I would like to tell you a little bit, tiny bit, about the Global Investigative Journalism Network, in case you are not familiar with it, because we have indeed a lot of resources, not just for investigative journalists, but for the full community. So I'm going to give you like a little sneak peek. You can always come to me and ask me more. But mostly I want to talk about the GIJN Women Initiative, tell you a little bit what we are doing and how I see the current situation and everything with this idea of the women communities together and how we can accomplish something together. So let me start. So basically GIJN, the Global Investigative Journalism Network, is the international hub for the world's investigative reporters. We are there. Our mission is to support and strengthen investigative journalism around the world, especially in those countries that have repressive regimes and also marginalized communities. We are there to provide capacity building training to investigative journalists and the extensive community all around the world. Our resources are free. We try to, as much as possible, to have everything out there. What is GIJN? At the heart of GIJN, we are an international association that our members are non-profit journalism organization, non-profit, focusing on investigative and in-data journalism. Since we were founded in 2013, we have 250 member groups in 91 countries. And we have a staff also working in different languages, including German, trying to spread the word and to give visibility to the tools. Among these 250 members, we have 5 members who are non-profits registered in Germany, which are and apologies for all the bad pronunciation. My German is non-existent. So we have Network Research, Corrective, Interlink Academy for International Dialogue and Journalism, Investigate Europe, and NOS, Border Crossing Journalism. And 3 out of 5 of these organizations are under this roof. So for me, this really says a lot about the future and what this can accomplish. So as I already said, the biggest project is our Global Investigative Journalism Conference. And the 11th one is the one we did here. And also we have, among the other things, we have a really comprehensive resource center that you can start navigating and finding things in different languages, and there are a lot of tip sheets. And we also have a help desk where you can reach to us, or we connect a lot of people. If you're doing an investigation that you need to find someone in another country, you can always write to us, or anything related with investigative and data journalism. So what is this GIJN Women? This is what I like to call my passion project. This is something on the side from our everyday activities, but there was a very big need and we decided to create. This is basically a group created to discuss issues related to the work of female and non-binary investigative journalists. It's quite a small group. We keep it like this on purpose. We create an intimate and safe space. We are not like trying to reach millions of people. We are really trying to know who is in there, because a lot of what we do are intimate meetups, not recorded, where we can actually come and share experiences and learn from each other. We have almost 500 members now, so not that intimate, from almost 100 countries. And it's interesting how the circle goes, because in fact, GIJN women, and here you can see some of our meetups, but so GIJN women, in fact, started after our conference in Hamburg. We had a session, we were all female and non-binary, explaining what there were their strategies for survival. And after that, all these women came and said, okay, but we need to do more. What's next? So they gave me a paper with emails. Okay, what's next? Okay, so me and my colleague and coach, we co-founded this group, and since we started, of course, then the pandemic came, so a lot of it was online, but we mostly do a lot of meetups on topics ranging from leadership, diversity, how to succeed in a male-dominated field, how to build better teams, fundraising, well-being, and we also been going to different conferences. On top of that, we curate a lot of resources, and we create guides, like, for example, this one that is actually very, very comprehensive, and you can go topic by topic, and also one on investigating femicide. So why do we, and here is what you could see, some of the meetups in the Latin American Investigative Conference, the IRE conference in the US, and well, nothing would beat a meetup on a rooftop on Rio de Janeiro, sorry, but, but here we are. Why do we all need to be together like we are here in one of our sessions? So investigative journalism, there is no surprise what I'm going to say, and in fact later today there is a session that connects with this. Investigative journalism, it has been historically a male-dominated field. In the last decades, however, we are seeing more and more women entering the field, which leads to a wider range of issues being investigated. Of course, we can investigate every topic, and women are investigating traditional topics like corruption and crime, but they are also, in a lot of cases, bringing new, different issues to the agenda, like discrimination, gender-based violence, healthcare, education. But we also face a lot of specific challenges, whether we are reporting or when we are in our newsrooms. So, of course, safety, for example, is something any journalist has to care about, but we do have additional threats with the online harassment and also discrimination and online attacks. So what's happening, and I see it especially in regions like, for example, when I talk with my colleagues in Africa or in other regions, is like women do start in investigative journalism, but later on they don't have the support, they don't have the capacity, in a way, the work-life balance. There is no structures in place to let them thrive. So a lot of them end up leaving the investigative journalism to more beat journalism on others. And that's what we are trying with this group, with this humble attempt to create a community and to support each other and to know what's happening in other countries and how we can make women stay in the field and how we can transform the field to make them stay and thrive. So when we started the group, we had some of the main topics, and those were what was guiding our work. So what was needed was leadership and management training. That was at the very top, 67%. Also works on how we can improve the women in the media in terms of sources. And find more women sources. And when I say women, of course, this is a non-binary, this is an LGBTQ, it's an inclusive way. Also, how to succeed in a male-dominated environment. Mental health was at the very top, and working on the field. So what's happening is that there is all these needs, but there is a big gap, because newsrooms and universities, they are not in the most cases, not all, of course, there are exceptions, but we are not really having, for example, all this leadership and management training that later is what can help us to also mentor and build and nurture the new generation. So a lot of what the training we do is informal with our peers and trying to help from each other. So on top of these communities, we are really advocating for trying to create more training opportunities. We do have dreams, as I say. This network now is in English, but hopefully there could be in different languages. We can have more mentorship programs. So I'm saying my dreams out loud in case someone has ideas. And also a leadership academy, especially for women investigative journalists. There is a lot of leadership training and a lot of training, but not that much target at investigative journalism. And this is needs a different approach. And also the professional development in a holistic way. So just to give you an idea, because I don't like coming and saying all grim news, we need this, we need that. So we also work a lot on highlighting what's out there and the great examples of stories that are being investigated with a gender angle. And a lot of these cases, they are also male reporters, but you do see a trend that most of these investigations with the gender angle are done by women or led by women, and in a lot of cases even by women-led outlets. So, for example, over the years, I've been reading great stories from birth control disinformation and how they are using influencers and TikTok for this cross-border surrogacy and the challenges it's bringing, and some specific cases, high-level sexual harassment that led to like politicians being like demoted or very, very important people. Of course, the Me Too movement around all the war, violence against women, reproductive rights, war crimes affecting women, LGBTQ issue, Afghan women's lives, and sexual abuse in the aid sector. So just to finish, thank you for the timing. So this is the session. What I want to say is, like, I also, over the few years, I really saw a lot of burnout, and things are really getting hard out there. So it's up to us. We do know that investigative journalism is not a 9-to-5 job, so it's up to us to try to make sure that this community stay healthy, stay safe, that we take care of ourselves, and for these places like this, I really think they're really, really important to build communities. So let's hope. Find me today or tomorrow if you want to talk more about this, and thanks a lot for the invitation.